Mike, what's going on, man? I appreciate you doing this. I know you're a busy guy training to fight and training other people, so teaching them to fight. So thank you for jumping on here.
No problem, brother. Well, teaching them to stay fit, and then some of them teaching them to fight. So it's a toss up.
It's a toss up.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Do you have a preference for training people just to get in shape in general or training for self-defense?
Well, it depends. For me, I like doing the fitness thing. I like the fitness profession, but obviously, combat sports is another profession of mine, and I really like when someone takes an interest in how it actually works and the art of it all, and not just like hitting the pads or hitting a bag, and actually wants to learn, techniques and the whys and the X's and O's.
100%. And we actually met years ago, both working at Title. At the time, you were training to be a professional fighter. I certainly was not. I was just working there, basically messing around with you the whole day. But I mean, it's been years now that you've been.
Oh, now we're good. Now we're good,
No way, that didn't work.
buddy. What do you mean? I'm locked and loaded right now.
Okay, beautiful. But anyway,
I'm
dude,
gonna I'm gonna
so
have to lower down the volume though, because my eardrums are getting rattled. You know what I'm saying?
we can't have that.
I got it.
So
Well, we're good. We're good.
So you have been, I feel like I have honestly a million questions for you as someone who's a huge fan of fighting and has seen you fight and has, done training with you. But just to start, so you're pursuing a career as a professional fighter, you're doing MMA and boxing. And how many years has it been since you got into this whole thing?
So pretty much, I mean, even when I was a little kid, I was really into like karate and ninjas and like that wrestling. I think every kid was into wrestling, and so I took karate when I was a kid, and I got into it. But I had two older brothers who would make fun of me. You know what I mean? Because the Karate Kid and all that was coming onto the scene. So around, you know what I mean? So whatever. And then so around like 14, I got my first boxing coach, who was in the New England Hall of Fame. His name's Bobby Cavino, and I really just did that because at that time I was kind of running around partying at a real young age, like being out late, and fights would happen, and I was like, damn, I'm out here partying, people are getting into fights, I want to be able to win my fight if I get into a street fight. So like I started boxing more, and then as I did it, it became more addicting because as I got better at it, I just progressed and kept going, so on and so forth.
There's something that you tap into even in training that feels great in improving at like how to throw punches and how to defend yourself. And there's worlds between an actual street fight situation or training in the ring or training for a fight in the ring versus just hitting pads. But even
Absolutely.
just in hitting pads or in grappling light with a friend who's showing you some moves or submissions, like you you definitely tap into something that just feels like right.
Natural.
Like it feels natural and it is natural.
It is
And I've
because from the dawn of time, we as a civilization have of all we know is war or fighting or combat or whatever you want to chalk it up as. Even in the animal kingdom, it comes down to who's the most dominant animal, right? And there's one way to find out, and it has to do with fighting. You know what I mean? So
let's
it
go, bro.
and in that being said, though, like you said, like it starts off hitting the bag or having someone that you know who did something, showing you something, and then it goes from there. But and then when you start learning it, and as you know from training with me, I'll even say to you, so if you're ever at a bar and your back's against the wall, or if you're in the bathroom at a restaurant, I always tell you, how to a scenario that way you can feel the real like the realization of what I'm saying, because it is real life. Fighting is a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you're feeling the moment of you're feeling like the weight and the intensity of what that moment would be. And that's what you've done, with me. And Well, first of all, you just had your first. This was your first professional fight, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Now you've had all sorts of fights. I've seen videos of you fighting in a cage in Vegas. You fought for a long time. This was your first professional fight, boxing, and dude, you looked like a fucking animal.
Thank you.
Seriously.
I have to cut
I
you off and say one thing. That haircut does look stunning. I have to tell you.
Are you talking about my haircut
Your
or
haircut.
my haircut, bro?
Spin around real quick. You know what I mean? I had to
Just
cut you
going.
off. I had to cut you off, but keep going. Sorry.
Well, dude, I mean, you had a very similar hairstyle. It was similar for your fight.
I know. I still got it. Well, it's
You
not as
still got it
fresh.
going on.
It's not as fresh. My hair is just crazy right now.
Sexy ass flow. But dude, I mean, the commentator he was calling you a movie star. He was all about it, bro. So, and that's part of it. You know, you got to look the look. But and thank you for the comment on my hair. I appreciate it.
Well, it's much
So,
needed when he looks like that.
dude, I need to like watching. First of all, I think it was a Saturday afternoon, and I had done a training session with you, you know, a few days or weeks or whatever before, and I tuned in live, and like I was jacked up watching like it. I felt like my heart was racing. I was like, I need to see him just dominate right now, and I would love to know for you like what it feels like at this point, and maybe what it felt like early on, actually stepping into the ring before a fight, and maybe what occurs or what changes from like the walkout to the moment you're in there to the bell goes off and you've got this guy coming at you and vice versa. What does that feel like? What happens?
So there's two types. There's two things that happen in your first fight, or even they call them in-house shows in boxing or smokers in boxing. They have them in kickboxing. There's two things that happen. You get hit for the first time for real in front of people, and the crowd goes ooh, and two things happen. You go, wait a second, this is not what I was expecting, or you go, okay, and then it's game on. You go forward from there. But for me, I was lucky, and I believe a lot of it had to come up. It has to do with my upbringing a little bit. I dealt with nerves and the pressure of a fight much. Hold on, we got a little static. Hold on. Let me fix it. It's getting worse. Hold on. You know what? Keep going. Fuck that. So yeah, and I deal with the nerves
Can you hear me still?
perfectly. Yeah, you're good. You're good
Okay.
on your side.
I
So
can hear you
and
perfect.
good. And like I was saying, I dealt with the nerves and everything as if I've had 1,000 fights. And I remember for my first smoker, it was at Gold's Gym. I'll never forget it. I got asked to do it, and I was doing. This is when I started really getting into MMA. So I was doing more of kickboxing and jiu-jitsu and wrestling. It's just it's like my high school sweetheart type of thing. You never forget it. I love
Yeah.
boxing. So it was a boxing smoker, and everyone was saying to me, you're gonna freak out in the ring, you're gonna get nervous, and I was like, but I visualized, I'm so big on that visualization stuff that I wasn't gonna get nervous, and I was gonna be calm, cool, and collective, and I went out there and I was, and I hit him. I remember I hit him with a right hand, like just so clean, and I was like, oh, this is it. This is pretty cool. And I'm gonna ride the wave. And then as for that, yeah, like I fought with no one around. I fought in 5,000 people in front of me, and you just got to stay within yourself. For me, so not the crowd doesn't get to you, and your emotions don't get to you. Your inner emotions, because that will really, that can get to you more than anything else. It doesn't matter about your opponent, what he looks like, what the crowd's doing, if they're booing you, or they're cheering you. If you could just control this, you're gonna be all right. And for my first pro fight, it was, it's weird because empty arena, no one around, no walkout music, all in the same kind of area. And, but shout out to Boston Boxing. They did a great job and they did a great show. They kept it pushing. They've been doing good during the whole, pandemic. They had fights producing pretty much. So shout out to Boston Boxing. And
Shout out.
And but yeah, and then I remember like so my first pro fight, and we did the first real weigh-in, and it all felt almost like I've done it before because again, I've seen it, I've spoke it. When I'm running, I'm seeing it, and then as the fight, I'm hitting pads, and it just felt like at that point it's like right before you jump into a cold pool, you know it's going to be cold, and you got to do it. You're going to get in the water. So when they say it's time to go, you got to make that walk, and that's when for some people that walk is the one that's gonna make or break their future. Honestly, that walk, that 20, 30, 40, 50, foot walk is it's like it's if it gets you, and then it's all over. Your adrenaline's gonna get jacked up. Your legs will feel like they're in cement, and you feel like you can't breathe. And for me, that walk is just a reassurance of you done this is you chose this. This is you enjoy the process and go hit a home run. And that's the way I look at it. Every time I get into a ring, I'm gonna hit home runs, and that's just the way it's gonna be.
Well, I mean, at this point, you are and have been a fighter, and you know this process, and you know these feelings, and you not just know how to manage them, but I'm sure you're fired up about it, and you know your capabilities as well. And, watching the last fight, and I've seen you train and all that stuff, like, this is what you do. But but do you think that, like, as far as maybe for what some people might be that make or break moment early on in their career, like, am I a fighter or not? I feel like there's probably so many things that lead up to that first moment that have to do with, like, your innate mindset, what your upbringing was. Did you have a tough situation where fights for you were normal? Like, I feel like there's so much that goes into that moment, and people probably can overcome that moment if the first time it happens they're scared shitless. But maybe some people are made for it, and some people aren't. Maybe everyone's a fighter at their core, but do you think that it's something like fighting? Is it something that finds you, or can it also be something that you yourself find?
Well, both, because you could look at some people and say, those kids that grew up, they were bullies in school, so their parents put them into a wrestling or a boxing or jiu-jitsu or a Muay Thai and so on, and they fell in love and they straightened out and they became world champions. Then you get guys who were bullied in school. I'll give you a great example. George St. Pierre. If everyone knows who George St. Pierre,
Yes,
most people know who he is, all right? He was
great
bullied
story.
his whole life. He said, "I got to start. You need to learn martial arts," and he's a martial artist to the core. And obviously now he's arguably the greatest fighter of all time. Like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was robbing people and doing crazy stuff at 12 years old. And for me, in my instance, I was never bullied. I never was never books knocked out of my hand, stuffed in locker, or anything like that. I was never a bully either. I played basketball for a huge as my childhood. I loved it, to death. But as you said earlier, does it find you or do you find it? I look back when I was a kid and I hear stories from my parents stuff. I would always watch again ninja movies, kung fu movies, Rockies, and I would always visualize like that looks so cool, and it is so cool. But and you learn if you're a fighter, and I think not so much in the ring, to be honest with you, it's everything out.
Hmm.
If because life is gonna punch you way harder than any man or woman's gonna hit you, and you're gonna learn as a young age if you're gonna curl up and be like, oh, life did this and life did that, and that's then you probably shouldn't stay at your stay in your room. Um, but if you go, all right, I had a bad childhood, I grew up in a bad environment, I had tough breaks, I did bad things and I got in trouble for it. It's no one else's fault. You know what I mean? It's life. I've done bad things, and I got in trouble for it, and I got kicked out of school. I got held back multiple times for being suspended so much. And at first, I had blamed it's not my fault. I mean, but it is my fault. I was the one getting in trouble, so that is my fault. But that's then no working, and for a long time, this is where the fighter and people come out. I had no money. You're going through hard times, and it's either are you gonna sit back and accept that, or are you gonna strap in your seatbelt and go make something happen. And that's what I just showed. And that's what I'm doing now. I didn't have the most carpet road for me, for sure, as a kid, and you know, everyone has it worse than others. You know what I mean? Everyone's going through something, some for it. But if I could just tell someone, just try to keep the engine moving, just keep it step by step, and that's what being a fighter is. Everything else, that just comes along with it. The fighting in the ring and cage and the mats, that's just part of it. You know what I mean? It's outside. It's the double sessions when you don't want to do it, when you don't want to go running because it's freezing or it's hot or there's a party going on and there's much more fun things you could be doing at that than going for a 5-6 mile run on a Saturday night. But that's what makes it break. That's what makes contenders to world champions, in my opinion.
That's
Let me fix that real quick. I love going out and so I'm not going to be one of these guys because that's not what I'm going to do.
You're a wild man, man. You like to have fun, and then you get after it. Yeah.
But when it's time to forget the sad, and I've managed, at one point I didn't manage that too well, but I always kept the engine going. You know what I mean? So
now, would you say you've learned to manage that part of it better?
for sure. Yeah, I've learned my lessons as I
Nice.
need to
Well,
learn.
yes. Well, to jump all the way back, I mean that's an awesome explanation, and I think you're fucking spot on in saying that it is both. It's both things where it can find you and you can find it.
Yeah.
And I mean, also, like, whoever's, whatever individual it is, their circumstance is going to be so, such a impactful part in a reflection of, what they become. And, everything that happens to you along the way continues to sort of shape you. And as a fighter, sort of like tips the scale on that fight or flight mode. And I'm sure there are so many other things working for you, like if you have a coach and support and whatever it might be. But to say that it could be both seems like it's spot on.
I think
Um,
if someone says it's not both, they just don't know what they're talking about. And if I'm being honest, it's
yeah.
not. That's my opinion.
Now you talked about um, like managing your emotions when it comes time to fight.
Hmm.
Is that something that um, like has gotten easier as you've gone along? Are there moments where you feel I need to remain calm or I need to be in rage mode? Or like are there ways for you to like channel it and really control it like in certain ways in certain moments?
So, again, truly, and I'm sure some people who listen to this are gonna laugh. I'm not exactly the most patient and calm and gonna sit down and discuss things. You know what I mean? But when it comes to fighting, and it's always been this way, I don't get I don't know, rattled. I'm not breaking the structure of what I'm doing. The way I always think of it is as a sniper. A sniper will sit in one spot for days on end, not move no matter the weather. He has to use the bathroom, whatever the circumstances. He does not move until it's time for him to let that go. Now, guys shooting machine guns, they're letting it fly off everywhere. Their emotions, they don't care I always think keeping your emotions in line, which I've gotten better at with everything, not just the fighting. But with fighting, broke focus. Like stayed. My job is to win. Whether he is low blowing, pulling my down, eye poking, running, pressing, doesn't matter. You're just staying as calm as you can in the situation of chaos, which is hard to do. But if you can do it, it's going to channel everything in life. Everything. If you can do it in that situation,
Hmm.
everything came too easy. But besides those, everything
No,
else
it
will be alright.
doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
man, 100%. 100%. And I mean, if you can channel it there, like the control of your emotion and the harnessing of it, then you can channel it anywhere. And whatever the situation is, wherever it is that you need to focus and control your mind, the better you get at that in any fashion, they all play into each other.
100%.
Something as extreme as that, I mean, if you do it there, you can kind of work your way down. But now,
But for example, after you go, here's an example, right? Think about
yeah,
it yourself. After you come training, right? Whether it's with me, whether it's you're at your own gym or you go for a run, after, don't you feel a sense of like you're calm? Like, so maybe you get in an argument with your boss, you're like, especially after, you're like, I'm gonna relax. It does help in all avenues, especially hitting pads or hitting a bag or doing jiu-jitsu or wrestling. It's almost a sense of calm because you're confident. It's hard to explain unless you do it. But if your boss is aggravating you, but you can channel your anger like you've done through training, I think everyone should do some sort of a martial art.
I
Everyone.
I I couldn't agree more. I can just say that again, the feeling that I get training hard in general, but hitting pads and whacking a bag and really going hard, being covered in sweat and getting into that mindset and emotion of fighting, it does something different. And it 100% brings afterwards a sense of calm, not just because you've trained and you've exhausted yourself. But I really do believe what you said at the beginning, which is you're working at something that can bring a confidence in the deepest part of your mind, knowing that you've worked on defending yourself. You've
If
worked
you
on
can,
defending yourself from in a situation that everybody knows can happen, and it happens every day. And there's something that is animalistic that comes from that that brings with it a feeling of calm and confidence. No question.
no doubt about one. I any I, anyone. Many people have they ever been confronted with a fight? And most people, yeah, but a lot of people don't. I don't. A lot of people don't get into fights. I told you before. I believe the average like street fight's like 33 seconds long. It's a punch, a shove, and that's it.
Yep.
And imagine how scared they are. But imagine someone who's you train. You what I say is you're learning and you're filling your head with knowledge of how to do. That alone is a confidence booster. So now if you're out and about walking your dog or with your friends or with a girl or whatever, and someone tries to, puts their hands on you, you know at least, hey, like in my back pocket, I've done this a few times. I have the idea how to defend myself. I'll be all right. And not even that, when you know how to defend yourself, and you're out and about, some kids like being a punk, you laugh. It's like, all right, yeah, all right, buddy, you're right. Sorry, I'll leave. It's a
Yeah,
sense of you're calm because you know if push came to shove, you're gonna be okay.
definitely. And
Maybe
not
that's right.
only
Be able to handle yourself a little bit
say
at
that
the
again.
least. I said maybe not gonna be okay, but you'll be able to handle yourself a little bit.
Yeah, you can fight. You know what I mean? You can at least try to fight. And, not that I grew up training as a fighter or street fighting all the time, but like I've had my moments and I can tell you now that all the training I've been doing lately with you, whatever, it's dude, you're definitely just tapping into something that and not like you said, here's the thing, not everybody, first of all, the vast majority of people, or a lot of people, probably don't get into fights at all. And if they don't have to, great. If I could never get into a fight, great. A lot of people also don't think about it. They're like, it's not going to happen. That's barbaric. Okay, to me, that's delusional. To me, that's you're completely dismissing what is a
Real life
undeniable
situation.
reality and you're just ignoring it. And now, if something happened and you have no idea what to do, you don't even know how to get out of a punch and then get out of the way and then throw in nothing, dude. I mean, it's forget about it.
Here's an example. Say you got a gentleman, his wife, and his two kids are walking, right? And some kid walks up and says, no weapon, it's different. Someone has a weapon, a gun, a
Different,
knife.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right. But there's still ways to defend yourself. Not that I'm Jet Li, because I'm not, but I'm just saying there's ways to defend yourself. But
You can
if
train for that, yeah.
exactly, but if you're walking down the street or going to the grocery store or the gas station, right? This is real life situations. What if some guy says, "Give me your wallet," or goes up to your wife and says, "Give me your wallet," or puts his hands on your wife? What are you going to do? Say, "Oh, this isn't really happening. This isn't existing." No, it's really this is happening right now. What are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? Cops can't come that fast. So
Yeah.
I think it should be in schools too, but that's
Yes.
a whole other ball game. I think a
Yeah.
school should have a mandatory something, a wrestling team, but not even that. A curriculum. It should be part of your studying. You should have to do a martial art. I just think it's so. I bet you so much kids would
Bullies.
stop bullying each other. Or I
Yeah.
really, if they both know how to fight, maybe it's
Yeah.
different now. If I know in the schoolyard you know how to defend yourself, but I know, Henry doesn't know how to defend himself, who am I going to go bully? I'm going to go bully
Yeah.
Henry.
And everything else that you'll learn through the process of getting
Discipline,
your ass kicked in training, discipline, like all of that, what it's going to do for a
respect.
young person, respect, everything. So here's the thing. Fighting, first of all, it has blown up. The UFC has blown up. Everybody is talking about MMA. I've never followed a sport as religiously. I love it. Um, I love training just for the fun of it and for the fuck of it. For a long time in today's society, especially here in the United States, before the UFC really popped, like I think a lot of people, even still, will look at fighting as like barbaric and like Neanderthals in a cage killing each other. People don't. If you go onto these YouTube pages and you follow, Stylebender and Masvidal and Usman and like George St. Pierre and all the Conor McGregor, the level of training and commitment and toughness and discipline and dedication that these individuals put into the sport,
They
it's
have no
out of
idea.
control. It's
It's it like before the UFC exploded in the United States. Martial arts is major over in
everywhere for all of time.
all over the world. Besides in the
For all of
states,
time.
boxing.
Yeah.
People think, and again, this is coming from someone who is a professional boxer, that it's a classier version of fighting, right? You go to a boxing gym, it's 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 warfare. That's not no one. It's not. You go to and I love boxing, right?
Yep.
But you go to an MMA gym, it's hey, how you doing? Patting on your back. You go to a boxing gym, it's more aggressive, it's more straightforward. So that misconception to me, and I love both sports. I love them both. I follow them both. I've given my life literally to these sports,
Yep.
and it's the most lonely sport in the world. And now when I say that, I mean it's when I say lonely, there's one person that walks up those stairs and into a fist fight. It's a fist fight. You could die. That's a people have passed away. But now leading up to it, you have your team, you have your support. Some men and women. You have your husband, wife, kids, teammates, friends, family. But it's so lonely. No one's getting hit for you. You know, no one's getting bloody noses for you. No one's crying because you don't think you can do it for you. No one's exhausted and can't get up at the next morning because your legs hurt so bad or your back or your head. So in that aspect, it's lonely, but in other aspects, it couldn't be more supportive. I had pictures of me after my fight with all a group of barbarian friends I have, all wearing my shirts. I got overwhelming support for my pro debut, and I have people in my life that have been around for a long time and have seen me mature as a person because of fighting. If I don't, and when I say fighting saved my life, I'm not one of these cases where I was out running and gunning, but I was definitely on a spectrum of I didn't know what I was doing. I just didn't know what I was doing. But fighting, boxing, fighting, MMA, martial arts as a whole for sure helped me. And again, yeah, people think it's barbaric as you put it on TV, but you don't understand that how spiritual that really is. Boxing and MMA, it's a spiritual thing. It's like at peace, even win or lose. It's like you're doing something that not many people are ever gonna do, ever.
Yeah.
So barbaric, I'm gonna say no, But at the end of the day, is it still a fist fight? Yeah, it's still a fist fight. At the end of the day, there's still people. So it's a catch-22. It depends how you look at it. I look at it as an art, but that's
Yeah.
kind of say. But I think it's an art. Like
If
it's
dance is
just,
an art,
you know what I mean? It's just,
yeah.
fighting is an art. You know what I mean? There's so many things you could go in to say that's an art.
Yep.
I just wish it got more acceptance in
Well,
homes and then,
I think it is now from the people who
for
just
sure.
who should be looking at it this way for what it is. Um, and again, it's kind of like hunting, dude. I mean, if people don't understand the concept of like hunting for your own food, because for some reason it's bad to do that
Yep.
instead of like it's all the same thing. It's
I'm just taking
literally
I'm taking a picture of this because this is wicked dope and this is on my bucket list since I started. Like I've always wanted to be famous and I'm not famous, but this is pretty dope. Hold on a second. Oh, do another one. Do that. Put the fist up. All right. Cool. I just wanted to do that. It's been on my. It's like one of my bucket list things. All right. Keep
bro, I just
pulling that in the IG right
like
now too.
I don't think we have to like kid ourselves. Like it is like hunting where it's such and this here's the thing, this word like primal and animalistic, it's almost becoming like taboo or overused or cliche. But there's just so much truth that lies in that word and the way that people use it and what it means to actually tap into something that is primal for people today, whether that's time in woods, right?
Yep.
Or training to fight or shooting a bow or whatever it might be, learning to hunt, because we're becoming so far removed from all that and it's what it is.
Reality. That's reality, in my opinion.
It's reality, and it's reality, and it's what we've always been, and it's what so much of the world still is. And there has to be some sort of a fine line between, what we are. Dude, it's crazy that people just forget that we're animals that just have like language and consciousness and a higher level of intelligence, but we're fucking animals, man.
At the end of the day, that's it. There's no. But this is the thing. This is the thing. Like
I'm not saying that like, oh, so we should all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think that
there's something about it. It's been going on for a million years.
for all of time, and for all of time, and it's like I think it's healthy for your mind if you're somebody that lives and thinks this way to do things that are like just feel right to you, like hiking up a fucking mountain, dude. Like,
Doing something that's going to challenge you is going to make you a better person. But the
yeah,
problem is, no one wants to do that anymore. No one.
yeah. I mean, not just that. I think of like, dude, I think of 12-year-old kids today, and I just think to myself, like,
Whoa.
these kids.
That's what I think. I just listen. I just go, whoa.
Whoa, dude!
Don't talk to a 12-year-old kid now. I look like this after. I look like after. It's just absolutely insanity. Listen. I have some. I believe in aliens. I'm all about simulations in the world. Me and Elon Musk should be hanging out. But they're up to some crazy stuff.
dude, like just it's insane. And what will that lead to in relation to everything we're talking about, which is doing things that are like just more human in that sense, in a more primal, healthier way. Like it's because it's becoming so far removed from that.
Well, a good point, like you said, hiking up a mountain, right? Like, instead of hiking up the mountain nowadays, all a kid needs to do, right, is grab their cell phone
Yeah.
and pull up a picture of a mountain, post on Instagram, and that's it. They don't have to go
Yeah.
up the mountain and feel like the like accomplishment of walking up that mountain and being like, "Wow, this is a beautiful view." They just make a TikTok and they keep it moving. It's crazy. Not hating on TikTok. If you want to sponsor me, I'm not hating on TikTok. I'm just saying.
No, they should sponsor you. They'd be idiots not to. I'm looking for my phone because I want a
What are you looking
picture
for,
of
buddy?
you.
You pot of gold? Where are you going?
my phone because I want a picture of you with the fucking.
Are we? Wait, is this gonna be
Literally,
like? Are people gonna be able to see us, or are we just rocking the voice?
no, the 100% they'll be able to see us.
All right, because that haircut needs to be on film. Yours.
Oh, it will be. Oh, I got it. I got it. Um,
Let's.
give
You
me
know,
something.
let's turn
Give me
something
something.
else.
Give me something. Give me something.
Want to just do the bricks?
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's,
All right, did I laugh?
let's go,
Do I
dude.
look? Do I look tough? No, I never
Yeah.
look tough. Never.
No, you do. You do. So this is fun, man. This is fun.
Let's keep it rolling. All right, favorite food. Give me. Go ahead.
Ice cream. Ice
Ice cream.
cream.
Come on.
It's not even close,
Your favorite food is ice cream.
without question.
Oh, it's
Not
the
even
best.
close.
Not
It's
even
not
close.
even close.
I will tell you this though: vanilla ice cream with some warm apple pie.
Yeah.
Heat.
What are we talking about?
It's unbelievable.
It's heat, dude. Um, but fuck. I was just gonna ask you, like, just really quick. Do you feel, um, like the extent to which you tap into that whole? Because, all right, here's the thing. I think there's a whole, craziness about like what are we becoming as people? Like we're glued to our phones, we're in front of screens all day. Life is incredibly easy. I feel this all
Why
the
is it
time,
how funny is it that you say we're in front of screens all day and as we're on screen?
but this is awesome.
This is badass.
Yeah,
Everything else is
exactly.
not badass. This is badass. Keep going.
This is badass. And I think it feels terrible. Like I have to make I mean, I make every effort possible to be active and outside and away from this and but even the TV, how easy it is to throw on Netflix, and then I'm 30 minutes into deciding on a fucking show and I can't pick one and I'm like, this is a disaster.
Your
Whatever's going
brain
on
goes
right now.
into overdrive.
Netflix made they made a new feature where they choose for you.
That's what the world's coming to, my friend. There you go. I'll leave it at that.
Because we can't even decide what show to watch.
Because
So
our
here's the
brains are so caught up with. You want me to go? Listen, you're asking for the rabbit hole. You want to go down it?
yeah.
Okay, listen. This is the problem. Listen, this is the problem. We live. It's 2021. I'm a
We're
27.
drinking on the next one. I can't wait. Sorry to interrupt
Be
you.
drunk on the next one, absolutely.
It's gonna
But
be
listen,
awesome.
listen. Do you have to use social media depending on what you're doing for work? Yes. Like for me, I'm not on it as much as I get told I should be. I should be posting this and that, but I'm trying. You
Different
know what I mean?
animal.
But
Different animal.
but I my so hard to not be on this as much as I want to. Again, I get it. I fall into the trap. I'm scrolling on Instagram. I'm looking at these famous people, and they're on these yachts, and it's cool to look at that, but put it down. Put it down for a minute. Read a book, half a book, 3 pages. Go for a walk. I don't know, but it's getting sad where I. It's funny. I'll go out to eat with whoever, friends, this, that. And I try, again, I understand it. I can't say enough. People go on their phones. I try, and I know some of my friends are going to die laughing when they see this, to say, like, yo, like, put your phone down for 5 minutes. And they go, you're on your phone. And I'm like, I've been on my phone for about 46 seconds. And I put it down. You've been on your phone for about 46 minutes and have
Yeah.
not put it down. And I just think the problem is we have too many apps. And look, hold
Way
on.
too many.
Listen. Okay, Instagram, Twitter, what's the other one? Facebook, uh,
Fucking Snapchat. Fucking
Snapchat,
TikTok.
TikTok,
Yeah.
Bumble,
Yeah.
Tinder, whatever, dude. It goes on and on and on and on and on.
Hinge. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. I really do
Phone
think
down.
about this. I think about this all the time where I wonder, like, are people evolving or are we devolving? And I kind of come to the conclusion of like it doesn't matter. We're always evolving no matter what direction, whether we like it or not. Like the progression is what it is, and if we end up being these like cyborg creatures, then it is what it is. But there's a part of our brain that does, you know, crave these more primal forms of existence that's calm and you're active and you're not glued to a screen and your life isn't there's an emptiness there. We're in this weird like transitional phase of human beings recognizing it and feeling it and knowing this is where it's going, but wanting it to be like, yo, I don't want this. I don't want this way of life. And
Well,
it's crazy.
think about this. Like to people, I think what's happening is this. I put on one of those like the new games you put it on your face and you're in this
The
like
VR headsets,
is that what it is? Yeah,
virtual reality headsets.
virtual reality. If I'm being honest, it's cool. All right, it's like wow, I'm in this whole new world. But I think that's unhealthy because when does it become when is this the norm? And I never see when do I realize that is this real or am I or is this already or is this already happened or am I in a video game? When does that become too much? When are we pushing it too far? When are we gambling and not knowing what we're doing? You know, when does it become dangerous? I see kids with that on outside near the street. Never mind being dangerous in the sense of like the world again took it over. Like when does it become unsafe to be doing all this stuff? I am not with all that. I am very big. I don't have an iPhone, as you know. Um,
You
I
don't?
just I think the world needs to slow down in a very drastic way. I think the world needs to just take a second and realize what we're doing and how far we're pushing it. As you know, it just when's it going to become enough? And here's another question: what happens if one day all this shuts down? Then what? People
Oh,
don't know what to do with their phones.
forget about it. All bets are off. Yeah, all bets are off.
It's
And
going back
let's
to it's going back to what you were saying about hunting, right? I'm not
yeah.
openly being honest. If I would learn, and I would learn, but think about this: what if all this stopped? All this cut out, lights are going out. It goes back to surviving. I would say I'm going to say 75 or 65% of the people literally don't know what to do. Literally,
95.
really? See, I'm giving the benefit of the
95.
society. It's
How
it's
how the fuck could they know? I mean, there's 5% of people in
they
this
couldn't
country
they
who
couldn't
know what to do
Google.
if yeah,
I can't,
exactly.
my power just shut off. There's an alligator outside. What do I do? Make a TikTok. I don't fucking know,
Google
dude.
just Google just gives you this.
Google goes,
That's
you're
it.
dead. That's what it does.
Dude, man, but I love that topic. I love, and I think that people are feeling it more. People our age who are in the thick of adult minds who recognize what's happening. 10-year-olds, man, if they get a VR set, like that's what do you want? There's nothing they can do. We feel it, we see
Control
what's
it.
happening. Exactly, we control it, we see the trend, and I do think that even though technology is not going to slow down, I think people are definitely craving less of this being so connected to to a negative in a very negative way to the technological world.
And I was going to say this. People in debates I have with people will say, well, how would you talk to, you know, I lived in Las Vegas at one point. How would you talk to your mother when you were living in Las Vegas if you had no cell phone? It's like, okay, good point. But now, it went from talking to my mom over the phone, over the phone, to FaceTiming her, to what? When is it going to be? It going to stop? When does it become now? Me and my mom put a headset on, and I'm with my mom, but I'm not.
Yeah.
When does it become not real? When does that line? start to become an issue. And I
Well,
think people don't realize they fall into the habit. Like, when's the last time, okay, so you, but like, think about this, like, in my, back in the day, they called each other. Hey, what's the
mm,
plan? Now we text, we LOL, we whatever, but it's like, we're not, we're losing in the connection, real connection,
yes.
because we're too busy on our phones and TikToks and likes on Instagram. Is it cool getting
Yeah.
likes? Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's cool getting some likes, but it's not break your day. And the problem is, it's making and breaking people's day. If I put a
Mm,
picture up and you put a picture up, and we both have the same outfit on, the same background, and you got 500 likes and I got 5, I would feel like a loser, and I shouldn't. It's ridiculous. It doesn't matter,
it, it is ridiculous. It's all ridiculous.
and
You're
that's
right.
what
I agree with you fully. And I
it.
also just think that, we're not talking about let's get rid of it all. There's nothing
No,
wrong with being able to make phone calls. We're talking about
slow it
this
down.
consuming your lives, your life, and how badly addicted people are to it. And everyone's guilty of looking at your phone when you're with people, but I can't
Limit what you do.
stand.
Limit,
Yeah.
limit the
When
window
you're
of what
with
you're doing.
people, when you're with people and when you're with your friends and shit like that, like don't be on your fucking phone the whole time. It's terrible.
I get it. If you have, say you're out to dinner with all your friends, whether it's a group like you with all your guys or even girls with all their girlfriends, and maybe you have like a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you have to check your phone real quick after a half an hour, whatever. Or you're making plans to like what's after your dinner, whatever. Phone on a Tinder or whatever, or even texting someone. If me and you were out to eat and I sat there and texted another person for an hour or 2 hours, you would be like, okay, what's the point of me here?
I would, yeah,
You
that'd be
know?
awful. Yeah, that would never happen.
That'd be bad on my part, and I would be ashamed.
Bro, all right, so this has been incredible. If any other podcasts I do are this fun, then this is going to be a great time, and I can't wait for us to do the next one and get some drinks on us, and maybe even do one in person. If you were here and I set this up and recorded it, and we were both here, who the fuck knows? But I do want to ask you, um, and I can get like a little clip of this or whatever. But I'm just going to say I really do love the way that you go about your training. I love it. I mean, I've been doing sessions with you one on one for a few weeks, couple of months now. Had done them way in the past, but your approach to it, not only is it a kick-ass workout from someone who knows how to fight, but you really do try to simulate skills that are related to defending yourself with like a little taste of that mindset while getting an awesome workout. So, what is your perspective on that generally and like how you like to train people and where you developed that approach?
So again, I'm all about a purpose, right? If you're coming to work out with me, and it's leg day, that's the purpose, right? You're doing legs. That's the purpose of the day. When you're coming to learn how to box or whatever it may be, it should be a purpose. So when I tell someone, hey, I always give it a scenario. If you're putting your jab out and maybe you have a bigger, stronger, guy or girl, and I always say at a bar, at a restaurant, close, tight area, you step off to the side and I try to put it to a point where they can actually understand why I'm saying it. I could tell you throw the uppercut, throw a left hook, but all day, and you'd be like, all right, great. But now why not tell you why? Maybe because if you throw an uppercut, their hands will go up, and then you bang the liver shot, and then you'll be
Mm,
out of trouble. There's a lot of things. I just like something with a purpose, personally. I don't like, what's the A to B, and I developed that me training.
mm,
Because sometimes you go to the gym and you're like, damn, even today it's an off day. Damn, what am I gonna do today? And your workout's good, but it's like, yeah, I go there like, all right, listen. Today I'm gonna do. I have a day example. It's called. Whoever's listening to this, do not steal my workouts. It's called a marathon day. I'll put a say 35 minutes, right? And now a marathon, as everyone knows, is long distance running. You're not sprinting, you're just kind of going for a long distance. So I'll 35, 45, whatever. And I'll put up stations, row machine, bag, XYZ. And I'll put the clock on, and I won't stop until my timer goes ding, ding, ding. And then I'm done. So it's like
Damn.
40 minutes straight, non-stop.
Right. Yeah.
You're constantly mixing it up. You're going from, I'll give you an example, an uppercut bag, and you're only throwing uppercuts. Then I'll go to the heavy bag, and then you're going to the row machine, then maybe the sit-up machine, and then double M bag if we're going with battle ropes, but you don't stop. Example, I have a purpose, I'm doing that, that's it. I have days called sprint days, so on and so forth. But I took it for me, and then I took, all right, so if I'm training Bennett on Friday at 10:30, last time we went over, staying on the outside, long shot, moving, not getting grabbed up. Maybe we'll go over, all right, maybe a little bit of inside work. Maybe you can't move. Maybe you're legitimately stuck in a bathroom stall and some guy is running in on you and trying to fight you. Inside work, how to defend yourself on the inside. And I'll go through that process. And remember one time you said make a DVD. And I remember Boss Rutan has a DVD, a self-defense DVD.
Yeah.
Truly incredible. Mine wouldn't be as aggressive. He's hitting people with chairs and all.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do that too, but yeah, having a purpose is major,
Yeah.
of that step by step and how hard you want to push.
Well, man, I am sure that you can, whip anybody into shape. And specific to the self-defense training, boxing, add in some kicks, whatever it is, it's awesome. And anybody who has any interest in do that, I would send them your way. And I want to, and I'm trying to. I know you got plenty going on, but I know there are a bunch of people that would love to, dip their toe in that and learn how to do it. And working out with you would be one of the best ways, and I'll certainly be back in there soon, 1,000%. So,
Need it.
but listen, bro, we're at, what would you can probably see the time. I was going to say, what would you guess we're at for time? Don't look.
I can't see.
What would you guess?
I think we're at for time. I would say 3 hours and 26 minutes. No. I would say 40. I want to say 48 minutes and 36 seconds.
53:12. So pretty damn close.
Not bad.
That was effortless, though. That was an effortless 55-minute podcast.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Fuck yeah, it does. Dude.
Listen, the next time we do this, we have to be drinking, we have to be together, and we have to be in our bathing suits.
That sounds like a great start to me. We'll
I
see
think
what
it
happens
is.
from there. You know what I'm saying?
And then from there, who knows, 4 hours long.
Well, listen, yeah, no, we'll do another one, and we'll definitely get some drinks going, and it's going to be awesome. We might have to talk about, like, simulations and shit, and aliens.
Listen,
Bro,
let's get...
Here's the thing. Who doesn't talk about this? Who doesn't talk about this? Nobody.
No one. If you don't talk about it, you're an L7 weenie. That's my theory.
Oh, fuck, I'm on a bouncy bar right now. I'm going to fall.
If you ever fell off that chair, I would lose my mind.
Bro,
The next time we do this, we're talking about aliens. Fact.
1,000%. Yeah, we'll do
I
deep
love-
research before.
I don't need
And
to.
then-
I'm all about the alien life.
Yeah, but, a little touch of research.
I'll touch it up. I'll watch some more documentaries. I'll do some more research. I'll talk to some guys, and we'll go from there.
But, bro, before we jump, I did just watch, and I brought this up on the first podcast I did, The Matrix for the first time. I just watched it for the first time.
Ever?
Bro, ever. Ever.
Have you been living under a rock? Where were you for the past 28 years of your life?
No, yeah, I have been living under a rock because that is a disgrace for me not to have seen that.
Now you know what we're doing.
Now I know what's going on.
Now you know.
All right,
You think
man.
I'm kidding? All right. Listen,
No, it's that good though. We'll talk about that next time as well.
I'll watch The Matrix, and we'll go from there.
We could even break down the Matrix and then talk about aliens.
We could put The Matrix on while we're doing this and watch it and go from there.
Holy shit. Dude, I love you. Thank you for doing this.
I love you too.
Can't wait for your next fight coming up. Remind me.
100%. We're aiming for July 30th.
July 30th. And fans would be able to go to that one,
Be
or
allowed. So buy your
New
tickets.
Hampshire?
Yep.
Okay.
Wyndham, New Hampshire, Boston Boxing.
Boston Boxing, New Hampshire, and you'd be able to watch it live otherwise, which I did last time. But I got to ask you about your actual training camp next time. We'll save it. My man, I will see you in the gym soon. We'll get a session in. Much love, brother. Love it.
All right, brother. See you later.
See you, dog.